Are you a competitive individual? Do you find yourself competing? Well, many operate with a kind of survival of the fittest mentality, competing with others for positions and places and even for pleasures. This kind of aggressive competitiveness often becomes a hostile, even a dog-eat-dog fight to become successful and beat out the other individual, to reach the goal and become at the top. Well, welcome to Morning Walk. I'm Don Burzynski, and this is where we discuss our walk of faith in Christ. And this morning we're considering the topic of competitiveness. But is, in fact, competitiveness a Christian concept? Is it an expression of the character of Christ? Now, we could certainly relate to competitiveness as, children compete amongst each other, and there's something innocent about that and probably wholesome. But when it becomes this aggressive competitiveness, where it becomes a lifestyle of, trying to reach the top regardless of what we do to others to accomplish our goals, now that's another subject. And so this type of competitiveness serves no positive purpose, regardless of the outcome. And yet our society is filled with this kind of attitude and competition. Whether you compete in sports, where the object seems to be this day to simply defeat an opponent at any cost to win the game. Well, that's not really sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is to certainly do our best and compete to have fun, and certainly winning is the object, but not winning at any cost and not competing at any cost. Or maybe you've competed in the realm of educational pursuits, to try to gain that scholarship and to get into the best school, and to get into the best school by doing whatever you can take, almost pitting yourself against other students in an adverse way, making yourself look better than you are, or doing so at any cost regardless of what might happen to the other individual that you're competing with. In the business world, we see this competitive attitude probably more so than any other realm, because in business world, this pathetic, ruthless, cutthroat technique is used and frankly excused as just doing business in the corporate world, as though what we do to others and their families doesn't really matter as long as we're, quote, successful and we get the contract, we make the deal, and we make the money. It's always about the money. Well, you could see that competitiveness, when it takes on that kind of an attitude, that type of a character expression, certainly isn't Christian. And Paul reminds us to do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility of mind, regard one another as more important than yourselves. And so that whole idea of competitiveness is not going to work if we're participating with Christ as Paul has just described there. So what's the solution? What would be a godly way to compete in our world today? Well, frankly, instead of competition, we might have the attitude of Christ. That is, that Jesus in me will not seek to be better than you or defeat you, but Jesus in me will respect you, will defer to you, will actually help you to be successful, and will help you to be all that Christ wants you to be. You see, that's an others-oriented mentality. You say, well, that's not going to work, Don, in the educational field or in the sports realm or in the business world. Well, I would suggest that it will work if we allow Christ to work it. You see, we are his workmanship. Christ knows how to enable us to relate in the competitive society that we live in without compromising who we are in Christ. We can engage people in love, and I think you'll discover that if you do, that loving engagement with others and trying to help others to be successful, not at the expense of anything, you'll find that others respect you. You know, that whole idea is do unto others that you'd have them do unto you. And you might discover that you have better opportunities when people trust you, when people believe in you, when people realize that you're not going to try to win at any cost, that you really do respect and love others and are trying to make others successful, that the highest goal of your life is not simply to get to the top, but the highest goal of your life is to experience and express Christ as your life. So may I encourage you today to take that admonition of the apostle and do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit. Do nothing simply from a competitive mindset, and with humility begin to regard one another as more important than yourself. And see what God does. See what God can accomplish through you instead of the worldly competitiveness that we've all succumbed to. So until next time, please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up for the video, and share it with your friends.